Welcome back. A green paper proposing a new mandatory social security plan has caused uproar. If passed, the new plan means you could be forced to forfeit an extra 8 to 10% of your income. South Africans have until December 10th to comment on this plan. Let's bring in Mike Shingange, who is the Deputy President for COSATU. Mr. Shingange, thank you so much for making time. Obviously you are still going to read this green paper, but broadly speaking, do you support this idea of a comprehensive social security system?
Yes, good afternoon, Clement and your viewers. We have always, as COSATU, campaigned for a comprehensive social security for years. We welcome the fact that government now is at a point where they kickstart this process, including publishing a green paper. Like you correctly say, we have not really studied and engaged with it. We are busy doing with that now. But our view is that there will be areas, any policy proposals that we will support and endorse, and there will be areas that we will vehemently oppose. So as we engage with this paper, such areas will obviously play themselves out. But we welcome the fact that there is an intention to establish a comprehensive social security for South Africans.
Yeah. According to this paper, all employers and employees will initially be obliged to contribute up to 12% of their earnings, up to a certain ceiling, which is currently proposed at earnings of 276,000 Rand per year, which means that practically if you earn more than 276,000 Rand a year, you will pay a maximum of 12% of that amount, which is around 33,100 a year or 2,760 a month, to the fund. What would you like to see happen with low-income workers? Should their contributions be subsidized?
Well, the thing that we go on such what we're welcoming here and what we have always campaigned for is a principle of a comprehensive social security. The issue of the funding is a matter that ourselves, when we have engaged with the paper, including engaging with the workers, which are the ones who are going to be affected, we're going to be making our own proposals. There will be areas that once they don't get the support of workers, which are the ones that are supposed to forfeit a particular percentage to the fund, are not supported, we're going to obviously oppose such. So what we're saying is that in the current state, the issue of the social security for South Africa is fragmented. It's actually done in the piecemeal. Here, it's a social development department that's proposing this thing, but you need to rope in institutions such as the National Treasury, for instance, because it has got a retirement funding on it. You have to rope in institutions such as the UIF. So all those details, once we are allowed, as has now been allowed to make our proposal, particularly in the platforms that are created to deal with matters like this, like the NATNEC, we're going to make our input and also we're going to consult workers. So we'll not be in a position now to comment about what is going to be the better percentage or whether indeed workers must be allowed or must be forced to contribute. All we are saying that even as the details as such as of the funding is something that we still have to engage with it and make our proposals at later stage.
So there's no question that it's a great idea in principle. It's good to get more people into mandatory savings net, but people are skeptical, and rightly so, that this money may be misappropriated. Many people don't trust government with their own money. Our recent experiences actually legitimizes this concern and caution.
Well, yes, that it's a reality of our country now or of the state. Those are some of the things that when we engage with the document, what are the measures that are going to be put in place to ensure that money of South Africans don't disappear into thin air. But all we are saying, like you correctly say, is actually a great idea, not the percentage, not what is being proposed, but the principle itself is a great idea because at the current moment, we have an unevenness in terms of how we provide social security for South Africans, whether it be disability benefit, whether it be retirement benefit, whether it is a housing, whether it's a health care services to our people who are no longer able to pay their medical aids because they are no longer working. That's why we call it a comprehensive one. If you remember, Clement, that in 2015, There was a bill that was passed in Parliament, and the President Zuma then enacted it into act, which we opposed as COSATU, because it was only to annuitization of the provident funds and the UIF of the workers, and otherwise that they are not going to they were not supposed to get their retirement lump sum when they retire. We opposed it because we thought that was a piecemeal approach. We needed a comprehensive one. So this takes us a step closer to that. But like I said, it can't be social development alone. You need to rope in what is the view and the thinking of the National Treasurer on this thing that manages the Retirement Act or the Pension Fund Act. What is the contribution and the thinking of the UI? And of course, what are the views of the workers who are the ones who are contributing their percentage? So once we consolidate all those views, and then we will be making our own contribution on this matter. But it is a step in the right direction without really dealing with its content.
All right, Mike, thank you for making time. We have until December for members of the public to also make their contributions to that green paper proposing this plan. Mike Shingange is the Deputy President for COSATU.